right, I am showing 9 o'clock. Oh, it looks like it's already recording.
Oh,
Great.
All right. So thanks for joining us, you guys, tonight. This is awesome. We're very, very happy to see all of you here. And we just want to, I guess now that you're here, should we tell them who's joining us?
I think we can. I think it's a safe.
Okay. So in about 10 minutes, we're going to have none other than the chairman of our company, J.R. Ridinger himself, join us on our Zoom. So anyway, he's been asking all about you guys, and he sees all of your names on our sheets every week, and so he's wanting to get information and just find out who's doing what and what's going on. So what we're going to do, I'm sure that more so than you talking, he's going to, as if you know him or you've ever seen him talk, you know he's going to do most of the talking. So I want to open it up though for those of you who have been working these past couple weeks. We all know, and I'm going to have you actually say something. We're dealing with some odd times. We all know that. But I want to say this, and JR will probably talk about it. The company has seen growth every single week since this started. Mm-hmm. We have so many products that people are clamoring to get. And as you know, some of those have been out of stock. Some of them came back in stock today. There's still a number of them that are out of stock. But just reaching out to people. And so we want to find out, I know some of you have been reaching out and getting new customers from it. We'd like to hear from you and have you share with others what you're doing to get those, because it's important for other people to hear from you. So, and also about how you're reaching out to people about the business. So does anybody want to share, you know, some of the, keep in mind that a lot of people that are on here right now don't or haven't really taken that approach yet. So we want to make sure that people who are taking approaches are sharing with others how you're taking that approach until JR joins us. And I actually don't have my phone with me. So if you want to go ahead and start.
Well, I think the first thing that we wanted to cover is the fact that during all this, there's a lot of negativity. I mean, people are feeling negative. They're feeling scared. They're watching a lot of TV. They're getting a lot of negative reports. And the news, their job is to get ratings, and they do it a lot of times by being negative. It's negative, negative, negative. And it's real important that when you're meeting with people or you're talking with people, more likely now you're talking or Zooming, to be positive and to be the positive light, and to make sure that everything that you're doing, you're breathing life into someone, because a lot of people are down. A lot of people, you know, if they're out working, they might be exhausted. Or like I said, it's just a matter of being down and just being beaten and the negativity of everything that surrounds us. If you're the positive one, then you're going to be attractive and you're going to attract. And it's real important that when you're talking with someone, you don't get into the negative talk with them and you don't go down that negative road of woe is me. It's about lifting someone up. It's not about going down with them. So if you're in a conversation and someone's going, you know, the times are tough, this is horrible, can you believe it? I saw on TV, I did death count, all this kind of stuff. Figure out a way to get the positive up. Figure out a way to get into a conversation that gets them out of that, because it can be extremely draining and exhausting to consistently go down that negative road. I mean, it's bad enough. You got to be the light. You got to be the positive.
Awesome. So I know some of you have had some really good conversations in the past couple of weeks. So actually, I'm going to pick on Carl here since we just got off the call. Carl, you've been reaching out. You obviously have been told to stay home for a while from your job. So like a lot of people, you haven't been going into work, and you don't necessarily get to work from home because of the type of job you're in. So can you just share with everyone, what kind of approaches are you taking with people? Like, what are you saying when you make that initial phone call to people?
Well, I've been working on my list of people, and I've been adding to it. I've been going on my phone, looking at the names in my phone, and then writing those down on my list. I've gone to Facebook, writing down some names on my list, and I've got a bunch of business cards from years past. So I started going through those and writing all those names down on my list. So basically, I was just building my names list, and I've been working on that. And we're doing this call workshop, and we're trying to do it every Monday night. And I'm getting anywhere from 6 to 10 phone calls, and I'm just reaching out. I'm just using the evaluation approach, and then I'm asking people about the residual income, and a lot of people are asking more questions about that. And then I just go into the product brokerage company, one-to-one marketing. So I just kind of tell them all that. And then as far as the trial marketing goes, I've been talking to a few people, and last week I just mailed out 3 trial size packets of mail, and I followed up today, and one person got it on Saturday and one person got it today, and the other person I didn't get a hold of yet today. But so that's how I've been doing my trial marketing, is just talking to them, mailing it out, and then following up with them. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, that's kind of it.
So let's go back. I know you have somebody, I believe, if I remember his name, is it Rich?
Yep, Rich Olson.
Rich, that's in the funnel.
Yep.
Can you kind of go back and just share with everyone, like, what your approach was with him and where it led to, and how you went from little bit to where you are now?
So with Rich, I contacted him, and we actually played phone tag for maybe a month to 2 months. And we would chat a little bit here and there. And I had one conversation with him about the cash flow quadrant. And he's a business owner, he's a sales guy. And that made some sense to him, but he didn't really know a whole lot about it, and he wanted to find out more. And then I booked a meeting, and then Beth and I and Rich got on the phone, and we went through the cash flow quadrant. We went through the first 16 slides and just kind of gave it a real high level overview. And from there, he wanted to know more. So we booked another follow-up meeting, and we kind of went through more of it, and we went through the whole plan. We got more questions, and been following up with him, and I just sent him some more samples. I actually just spoke to him today, and I got to call him tomorrow at 2 o'clock actually, and follow up with some more of his questions. He's a business owner. He's real big into the numbers. He wants to see how the money's made. He also, him and his girlfriend, were interested in products, isotonics, some daily essentials, and a couple other other things like that.
So you said that you contacted him and reached out 2 months ago?
Yep, 2 months.
Okay. At least. So I just want to say this, that everyone's timing is different. So the reason I have him say that is because this is a process that so many times people forget to follow up. And you've heard it, fortunes in the follow-up. We have a conversation with somebody and we don't follow up with the next phone call or the next connection point or whatever it is. And I could tell you, like, my phone calls tonight, these are people I've reached out to plenty of times before, but I could go through the list of people who are on here tonight, and many of you are people that I reached out to more than once. You can't give up on people because times change, and we are now in a time change. And so he's reached out, and of course that time change with Rich, because he is a business owner, this has all affected his business, but he's still trying to work. But the thing is, it's taken him more hours in a day to accomplish what he was doing before, because he can't just run into the business and say hello to somebody. So he's had to adjust himself. So Carl's just kind of taking the little bits that he can go, a little bit at a time each week, keeping the momentum there to give him, and he's still pulling on it. He's still pulling a little bit out each week and asking questions. And I don't know how this works. Like, how could that possibly be? And so he's creating these conversations with Carl, and Carl just keeps moving him through the process. So again, you can't force somebody through that process. And that's why I wanted to talk about that. It's, JR says the dance. You know, he talks about the dance, and that's what it is. You're dancing, you're learning the dance steps, and he's learning the dance steps as we go along here. Well, there he is.
Look who popped in.
Look who popped in right front and center. Hey, Andrew. Hey, JR. You're on mute. Hold on.
Let's see if we, there we go.
So who's on? Who are those leaders up there? Huh?
Let me introduce you to everybody, JR and Andrew. Up in the, I'm assuming your picture looks the same as ours. You've got Laura Cummings up in the left, and I know you know who she is.
Yes, Laura Cummings.
You might know this guy. Brian is from North Carolina, along with Paul and Denise are from North Carolina. They're actually next door neighbors.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And then you've got Carl up there on the top, and he's from Wisconsin.
Oh, nice. Hey, Carl.
And you've got Stacia
Carl.
from St. Louis area.
That's great.
And below that, you've got Harry from Virginia.
Yeah.
And to the left of that, Maria Hammershock, you know that name, from
course.
South Carolina.
There she is, yeah.
Right above you is Lori Wade from the other coast. She's one of our flight attendants.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she was on stage in Miami.
That's right. That's right.
And then to the left of Lori is Paul and Denise, also from North Carolina, and they are UBP coordinators in North Carolina.
Right. There they are. Yep.
And then to the left of that is Charlotte, and she's from Virginia as well. She's the leader of a bunch of these people on here.
Hi.
Here's Charlotte.
And then below that is Chris, and he's from down in your area. He is actually from Port St. Lucie.
Nice.
How you doing?
Okay,
And then
great.
to the right of that, or to the left of you, is Nancy, and she's from Pennsylvania, and that is Charlotte's sister.
Oh, cool.
And we all went to high school together.
Really? Well, we're getting the rest of it.
You're getting the rundown.
And then you've got Valerie, also from Virginia.
All right.
Connie from right down the road from us in Orlando.
Connie.
And then on the bottom, you've got JC, who's our son.
Who's
With-
not showing his
who's not
face.
showing his
Oh,
face.
he's not showing some of these. There's JC. He's not showing his video.
Okay.
I understand.
And then Brianna is also down your way. She's down towards Fort Lauderdale,
Okay.
Space Coast. And then Jake is brand new. Brianna's new partner from Las Vegas, just started last week.
All right, Vegas.
And then Valerie, you're on twice. And then we've got Audrey, also from Virginia.
Wow.
Very cool.
So this is a second generation 90-day fast track. It's kind of like people that have come from what we did before.
You got it.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
they're doing
says a
well.
lot.
They're doing well. They're
They did it without me. I mean,
well, they learned it. Great leadership.
yeah, you guys are great. You really are fabulous. You know, it's amazing, this crisis that we go through. The business has always responded well during crises. During recessions, for some reason, it grows faster. And in this, we're growing more than ever. I guess part of it's because we have a captive audience. People can't go anywhere. And, you know, before they found a reason or an excuse not to listen, but people are going stir crazy. You know, everybody has their Wilson. Is that the name of the guy?
You're in the movie Castaway with the volleyball became his friend. You know, we're Donald Wilson.
So you get a chance to talk to them.
Yeah.
And the thing that I've been trying to emphasize recently that we always did on the 90-day fast track. And by the way, you know, Beth and Pip, if you want to have another one, we will definitely do another one. You've really done well, and you spread it and duplicated it, and it really is what makes a difference. You know, everybody's looking for what makes a difference. This is what makes a difference. People leading to people. You got to. The only reason you're not a director is you haven't found the right people yet. So what's going to be different to cause that? Well, you obviously believe in the business. You got to do something different, though, and it is hard to talk to people. Let's just be honest. Your friends and your neighbors and people at work, they think you're in one of those things, and they have an attitude about it. And what besides that, what can you tell them? It's just you. My neighbors are the same way to me, so I really understand. But what you need to do is change the atmosphere. And changing the atmosphere is simply having somebody who's already making money do it with you. It's become so much fun, so much more easy. And when you get results, you really feel different. I mean, you get, automatically you become better because you're more confident and you feel that it's working and you feel like you're speaking from your heart and the truth that it works. And, you know, you don't have that little bit of doubt that's always lingering. And, you know, so I'm really proud of what you're doing, the fact that you're on. This is really an amazing phenomenon that's going on. Because of social distancing and quarantining, we have a captive audience. And they've always wondered what you're doing. And even if they weren't, right now, the topic has people's interest because they don't have any income. What you thought was a job is no longer a job. What you thought was a future is no longer a future, or maybe it's interrupted. But those people that did listen, that did look over the last 20 some years, their checks are still coming in because they put time in once at one point and they created something that continues to pay, and it's not a matter of exchanging time for money. And that's the paradigm that everybody else is in. And it's what sets us apart, that this is a mechanism, a platform made to create residual income for the average person when it's normally only available to the elite, the affluent, the privileged. We've created something for the average person to be able to do it, and you're doing it. But see, that message, guys, is people are listening today because it is relevant, it's current, you can get their ear, and it's an interesting topic. They don't have anything to do anyway. So they kind of, you know, but you can get into a great conversation about this and tell stories and explain how it works, use the material that I put out, you know, on Wednesday nights and talk about this. And I'll tell you, after it's all over and you're back to normal, you're going to have a full schedule anyway, but it's going to be different because you're going to be coming from a different place. You're not looking to get people in. You're talking about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, at the top of the economic ladder, what everybody wishes that they could have in the financial community, in the business community. You have it. You have a way of offering it to them. And here's the thing, whether they believe it or not, whether you think that you can do it or not, whether they are really going to do anything or not, is all inconsequential, okay? Because you can give them an offer too good to refuse. Who wouldn't want residual income? And there's so many stories of people that got it just by trying it. So you can give them an offer too good to refuse because you have the pot of gold that everybody wishes for and seeks for, where you don't have to exchange time for money. You put in time for a couple of years and you have an income that keeps coming in. You don't have to invest. You don't have to have experience. You don't have to work 24 hours a day like you do in a regular brick and mortar business. So you have it, and you can give them, in New Jersey, we call it an offer too good to refuse. And that is, look, I know that you're busy. I know that you're going back to school. I know that you work on the PTA. I know that you got soccer league or whatever that you make an excuse for them. I know that, you know, you are tired after teaching all day and really don't want to be doing something all the time. Fine. But you know what? You might know the right people. And here's why. You tell them why that makes sense to them, not to you. What's the reason that they might know the right people? So when you explain that to them and it makes sense to them, they say, okay, you know, they don't fight it. All I want you to do is look at it because you may know the right people, in which case it could mean some money to you. And from your work and your effort, and you're trying so hard to find the right people, and that's all you need to go director, your work, your effort, and having a team and changing the atmosphere by hooking up with people like Beth and Pip that have credibility. You need somebody with you that has some credibility. So when they question you, it's not about you. Somebody can defend you, can speak up for you. You're not all alone battling them, you know. And remember, believe me, if Elizabeth's in town, she'll ask me to go do the meeting with her and make the call. Or if I'm in where she is, we ask each other. Why? We're simply atomic energy when we do it together. There's no way that we're not going to get the result. So why shouldn't you use that? It's no different, right? And so when you do that, an amazing thing happens. So listen, and they lead to people. Now, when they lead to people, we have to start to get a little scientific, and we have to start to study the technique. How do you get them to lead to people? How do you keep connecting the dots from person to person? And that's what I'm about to start to really get into on the Wednesday night things. But if you get it started, if you just get it started and people wanting to see it, and then they make a list of people, 20 people or so, that you and a partner that's making it do together, you're going to end up getting the people. It doesn't matter if it's 10 removed from you. I don't know if you were at World Conference where we tried to do that little demonstration, but each person is just telling a person about it, giving them an offer too good to refuse, residual income, and here's the evaluation approach. And if you lead to the right person, it might end up paying you. Well, what happens 10, 20 removed when one person stands up and says, I get it. I'm doing this. Well, everybody gets credit. See, no other marketing plan has that. And we don't have to continue to build wide or build horizontally or laterally like franchises do, like, insurance does, like multi-level does, like stores do, like every other model does. We all get credit for it vertically. So, bam, everybody, you got that wave effect. Everybody gets credit. Worst case scenario, they're half paid, half rich, with a big reason just to do one more. And you know what? They're kind of having fun. And, they get two, presto, they hit pay dirt. And if you want to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God, that's how Elizabeth made it. That's how all the big stars made it. It was almost by accident. What do you think about that?
Jim, when you look to make it point, you get closer to the camera.
I know. I want to jump in some of these squares.
Yeah.
I thought it was coming through there for a second.
I am so proud of you for doing this. By the way, when you do this, it automatically qualifies. Not everybody gets into Harvard. The person that gives you a hard time is telling you you're wasting your time with this person. The person who eyes light up and starts asking questions and starts to engage you in the conversation, they're the right ones. It's real easy to flip that switch and just, hey, let's talk about some people that might know the right people also. And man, your whole world can change. I know you believe in the business. I know you believe in the products. You're working real hard. You deserve this, I call it a rush, this rush of, wow, it's really working. And you're close. You're so close. That's why you're on tonight, and you got the greatest leadership. I mean, this couple, I always, was curious about them, admired them, because they were so smart and so dedicated. Now we've hooked up and they're doing well. And it's so cool. So
Boy,
cool.
we have you fooled.
Well,
Well, JR, I would say that probably majority of the people that are on here, I think almost every one of them, except for maybe Jake, because he just started, is half rich.
Wow.
That's great.
Well, it's better to be half rich than not rich.
That's right.
Got it.
You're so close. And when you have a little bit of success breeds success. So you have it working in one leg, and it's really a domino effect of people leading to people leading to people. Eventually, the probability is when you're working as a team and everybody's doing that together down the line, the probability makes you like the casino, not the gambler. You're going to win no matter what.
Right.
The probability and the law of probability is way in your favor.
Yep.
And so that's all you got to do. And anybody here, you're capable of this. And it's just a matter of doing it for 3 months, doing a couple of evaluations per week, having a partner and, a team. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I can't wait for you at a convention to come up to me and say, it happened. We did it.
How are you guys? Everybody's doing well, right? I mean, as far as you're healthy, everybody's doing well, right? I mean, as far as you're healthy, you're
Oh,
safe,
yeah.
you're doing good. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's doing great. I mean, the team's doing great. You want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking before you came on about, we all have to be the light because there's so much negativity going on right now. And so many people are absorbed in the news that we have to take them out of that, and we have to be the positive light.
Yeah, and it's such a
Exactly.
perfect scenario for us. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't want this to happen, but for us, the fact that we're home-based online, and of course, with our products, it's just like a perfect storm for everybody, And so that's why
really
we're
was.
seeing record sales. I think new unfranchised owners have gone up like 60, 70%. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So the point is, we can be very selective because people are looking,
Yeah,
very
it used to
selective
be,
here. And you had that
you're in one of
confidence.
those things. Now you're in one of those things.
But nobody's got what we have, especially the fact we were able to transition so efficiently and effectively all the GMTSS to Zoom, and the fact that we have all the additional trainings now on Zoom. And Mark, Ashley, you heard him hopefully last week.
Yeah.
Update. I mean, we are just an unbelievable enterprise, and I'm happy to know you guys are capitalizing on this and hopefully having fun in this dark time.
That's so much important. Have fun. I mean, here we can all be together. We don't, it's the technology is just amazing. The business is designed for this. So we have the solution. And I feel so blessed.
Amen. I always feel guilty talking to I have some friends of mine who, of course, not in the business. They're really struggling, with their businesses, with their jobs. And they ask how I'm doing. It's like, I don't even want to tell you. It's doing incredibly well.
Real well.
But nonetheless, it's.
We are so blessed. I mean, here's the thing. When would you think that you'd be able to have JR sitting in your living room with you?
Exactly. There you go.
This is amazing. I mean, JR, you're able to get into people's living rooms now without having to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's a modern day miracle.
It really is.
It really is. We
the bad joke. You know what the bad joke is? This is a terrible joke. You can't hit me with tomatoes. We're growing faster than the coronavirus.
He said it's spreading faster than the coronavirus. That's an awful joke.
Terrible.
But
anyway, we're having a lot of fun. I hope that you are. I mean, really, you got to make this thing fun. And it's only fun when you're playing. It's no fun to watch.
So JR is going to hopefully you guys will be able to tune in. If you haven't been able to tune in live on the Wednesday evenings, of course, everything's recorded.
We can't hear you, Andrew.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, get your head up there.
So I'm just going to say, these lessons that JR's been doing each week have been really valuable. And he's going to transition from the residual income subject, which is great as a conversation point, and leads into the evaluation approach, which is something that if it's practiced, you really work with somebody like JR indicated, it can really yield great results. That's the next lesson. Those are the next lessons.
It's all about experiential learning. And of course, Beth and Pip have been through that. And it really helps to hear your experiences, good and bad. Because you don't learn anything. You can't teach somebody how to ride a bicycle by talking about it. They got to get on the bike. You got to help them balance. And this is the same way. So whatever is working for you is really great for us to hear, for me to hear, so that I can use it. And, whether I use a specific example or talk about it, it really helps. And things that are causing you to stumble, the potholes, nobody told me that they were going to say this. I mean, they throw you a lot of curveballs. That helps. The way we get it right is through experiential learning. The things that go wrong, we address them, how to handle them. So anything that you can give me, I welcome. I mean, they got my email, right?
Yep.
Or you can send it to Beth and Pip, and they can send it. But I really want to know. We will really help you. There's anything that's happening that's preventing you from having a great experience and leading to people. Let's talk about it.
What would you say?
Going to help you.
So real quick, and then we don't keep you too long. Beth or anybody, what would you say? Maybe one thing that is maybe a common stumbling block right now. I mean,
Well, I'm gonna ask you guys, go ahead and unmute yourselves if you want to. What's a common stumbling block? I know like Charlotte and Laura and Carl, I mean, Stacia, you guys, Paul and Denise, what are some common stumbling blocks that you guys are facing all the time?
It'd probably be like rushing the process a little. Like we had that conversation last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's great.
Especially now with just in not having face-to-face. And I ran into that, just rushing it too much and lost it. I had an appointment set, but then it didn't go anywhere. So I think it was rushing it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one of the things that is coming to light that I'm trying to emphasize is you don't have to show the 5 steps. Everybody is so anxious to get through the 5 steps. I mean, they don't understand them anyway. Did you understand them the first time? You know,
No.
you really don't understand them. All that you do, the only reason, first of all, I always tell them they got to see it 3 times, right? And I give them the reason. I don't want to do the whole seminar here, but you know, there's a reason for the first time, second time, and third time, and it addresses what's going on in their head. Okay, so the first time, I just want to sell them on residual income and have a discussion about life and their life, and you know how this is a solution, and that we have a platform and a technology and a company and you know a product brokerage system and a tracking system that allows them to get a residual income from things that people like and that work that they tell other people about. And I can show it to you. I can't show it to you now, but it's all about this thing called residual income. And I have a discussion, or you can give them a little mini seminar. We have an enthralling, enlightening, gripping talk about life and the 45-year plan and residual income and the types of people that get it and how hard it is for us to get it. We spend our whole life exchanging time for money and end up broke. This is a system that can get you out of that. And if I talk about that all night long and they get hooked on it and it gets into their cerebral cortex and they want to know how it can happen, I got them. That's qualifying, you see.
And that's why his last couple of lessons have been about that subject. So the
Mhm.
next one on Wednesday night will continue with that. Now lead in the evaluation approach, which I think will probably solve.
We don't even need to show the plan. You don't want to rush it. You know, you don't want to rush it. We just need to get them sold and qualified. Sold being that they embrace the concept of residual income. And then that leads into we have a way of doing it. We've created a way of doing it. Would you like to know more about it? Just take it one step at a time. The 5 steps are the least important. You know how like sometimes you get through the opening and a 2 to 3 year plan and talk about the products and it went a little long, or they ask a question a half hour in and now they're looking at their watch and you can feel they're getting antsy and you're trying to get through it and it's just not right. Don't do that. Stop. You don't need to show the 5 steps. You can show it next time. You can set up an appointment. You talk about the fact that, you know, they probably know some people that would be good at this. I'm going to show you how the mathematics and the tracking and the residual income actually works. Okay, but we'll do that next time. And because the only thing that matters is that they get residual income and want that over the 45-year plan. If they want that, you're in a good position, right?
Yeah, you're right. I think that's
Correct.
the
Thanks.
there is that I think people don't have enough people on their list to call. So they are moving, they're trying to move somebody through the process too fast. And they're also approaching that person more about that person than trying to find out who they can connect with.
Oh, that's big. See, it's never about them getting in. Listen to this, hear this, let this click. It's never about them getting in. It's about who they know that might be right for this, that might know the right people. Because we would never want to take anybody on, whether it be the person you're talking to, whether it be you or 10 removed, that can't lead to the right people. Think about it. Why would you? So that's the qualifying process. Actually, the qualifying process is to mentally choose the residual income in 2 to 3 year plan over the 45 or exchanging time for money, and then showing them how to do that. But the tryout And remember, to get into Harvard, you got to take SATs. You got to have an interview. You got to write an essay. You got to have a lot of recommendations. They don't take everybody. You're not going to take everybody, okay? But we do the little tryout, the trial run, by getting them to, list some people, and then and if you're not competent yet, use somebody that is making money to help you get that started. And then we talk about who they might know and show it to them. And when somebody's interested, guess what we do? The same thing with them.
Right.
And the same thing with them. And in 30 years, nobody's asked me ever, why does you keep doing the same thing with everybody until somebody jumps in and does it? They never ask that. But when somebody does jump in and say, oh man, get out of my way, I need the kit. I have 10 people. I want to have a kickoff. Everybody gets credit. Everybody wants to get in for fear of loss. Right?
That's right.
It's a
Makes sense.
process. Yeah.
We can't rush it. And we make it work first. Who cares if they sign up? I actually prefer when they don't sign up. You'll tell you why. I don't waste my time with them, and that makes them have to lead to people. And if they do lead to the right people, they all sign up.
Get in anyway.
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? No, we gotta have, you guys.
Listen, we wanted to pop in and say hi and see you guys and connect here, and we don't want to take up the rest of your core investment.
And by the way, I said we'd do another one. We can do one like this too in the next month or two. You guys decide and talk to me. Just so you guys know that Pip and Beth are one of our favorite. We need them to hit high pen levels, and the only way they can do that is by getting you to hit pen levels.
The way it works.
And that's on our goal statement for them to do that.
It's a great team.
4 new professionals, 1 new supervising, and a lot of new executive coordinators this year.
Yeah, amen.
There you go.
Amen.
Okay, Laura, thanks a lot for that info. That was the right soundbite for me to go off on.
Thanks, JR.
All right.
You guys are awesome.
Love you
Thanks so
guys.
much for
Thank you.
joining us tonight.
Thanks.
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
You're welcome, guys. All right, stay healthy, stay safe.
Okay.
You do the same.
You never know, we might drop in next time, but keep having fun, be consistent, enjoy the process, and just stay connected to us. We'll continue to support
That's
you.
right.
wherever we can.
Trust the process.
Appreciate it. Thank
go.
you.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
God bless.
Awesome. So let's see here.
There we go.
Is everybody, okay, you guys are all on mute. So if anybody wants to unmute, I'd love to hear from you guys as to what your takeaways were from that.
That it's a great time to be building and make it fun.
Yes, not being too serious.
And slow the process down, even though you want to hurry it up.
Yeah.
And it's hard to not want to make it about them. That
is hard.
That's absolutely
looking past that's key, and it's really hard to do.
It is, especially when you meet with someone who you know you could change their life.
Not make it
And
about
you're sitting
them.
there with them, and you really want them to get it.
Right.
But, yeah, I agree.
One of my biggest problems is I want it worse for people than they want it for themselves. But you cannot do that, because what will happen is you'll end up sponsoring people who do nothing.
And I have so much of that down here now because, being a tourist town, everybody's in the service industry. So like all these people I know that are out of work, I think to myself, oh my God, this would be so great for them. But some of them just aren't even interested.
That's okay.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay.
But who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know who?
Yeah.
And I actually wrote down, because although I've heard it a million times, he said, give them the out. It is not about them, but you may know the right people you can connect
Mhm.
to. So like we're going to do, and I know we've been preaching this till the cows come home, that you do not have to show the plan. Show the plan does not mean show the whole plan. It means introduction of the concept. So we're going to do another business lunch this Thursday at 12:30 Eastern time. I'll put that Zoom link out there, but And the reason we're doing that again is because a number of you are making calls and you're making these connections and having these conversations he's talking about. We just talked about it before he got on, about the fact that it's the dance. It's going through this dance. And so the beginning of the dance is just the conversation about residual income and who do they know? Who can they lead you to? And taking it away from them. I find that when you take something away from people, if they really are interested, they immediately, Lori, I'd love for you to jump on here for a second, because Lori's a perfect example. She brought us people and we sat down in the airport in Jacksonville and we just said, that's okay. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do this. And she looked and she said, I'd be silly not to, wouldn't I? Lori, unmute yourself. Pip just unmuted you. Oh,
there you go.
All right. Yes, that's right. I don't feel like I've been doing much of anything lately, though. This whole thing has gotten me not negative, but down. I'm having a hard time with it. And I go back to work tomorrow, and I was gonna do that month off, and I decided I'd be better off at work than sitting home.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, you're the kind of person who can bring the light. So just remember,
I'm trying.
Bring the light to other people.
And remember, that's why we all come together here, is we come together with all these things so that we can lift each other up. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I get off of seeing everybody after sitting at home all day by ourselves, it's coming together and seeing you guys that lifts us up. Like, it carries me through another day.
Yeah.
I just wish you'd have these meetings a little earlier. And this is like an hour past my bedtime.
Well, the problem is we've got people in another time zone that have to work.
Yeah.
So that's why we do it. So we normally,
we do record them.
We do, and we normally try to be done by 9:30. Obviously, tonight was a special night.
I tell you what, that was pretty amazing. You know, being around Market America as long as I have, to have JR in my, in my office talking to me it was pretty amazing.
Do you remember at your house a few months ago, we said we can get JR to talk to you, and you were like, good?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, whatever. And now I've been on stage and shook his hand and had him in my living room. This is like unbelievable.
Be careful what you wish for.
Beth, I have a question.
Yep.
With the luncheon, the business luncheon, that would be for someone who says, yes, I'm interested in learning about residual income, or had a conversation with, not a first, the way our business lunches used to be long ago in person. That would be just come, I'll buy you lunch type of thing. So it's not like that, right?
Well, here's the thing. It could be like that if you know the person and they're willing to help you.
Oh,
Looking
okay.
at it to help you. If you take that approach, then you could ask anybody. But if you don't know the person, you have to go through that warm up, get to know you kind of conversation to be able to get them to be willing to look at something to refer you. Or to say, yes, I want to learn about residual income myself. So yeah, I think you can do that. The only difference is when we did it live, where we brought somebody to lunch, we knew them.
Right.
So I don't want you reaching out to people you don't know and not having the warm up conversation first.
Yeah, no, it would be someone I know, like the Naples contact.
If it's somebody you know and you take that, that approach of, would you be willing to take a look at residual income, have a residual income conversation and say, would you be willing to take a look at something that could create that for people? And then again, push it away. It may not be for you, and I'm okay. And honestly, we've talked about this on the calls. I prefer to look at people and say, you're right, you're probably too busy. It's probably not for you. And that's exactly what we did with Lori. I was like, Lori, probably not. Probably you're just too busy. You're right. And you're nearing retirement and you're happy and you've got all the money in the world. And she was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
I have a coworker. Well, he's a coworker with me now because I just got him a job with me. So he kind of owes me. And I worked with him off and on at different places for 13 years. So I know him really well. So this would be something that it wouldn't be And I've kind of talked to him a little bit about this. So this would be a type of meeting Thursday that it would be all right for me to invite him to that type of meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Just depending on what approach you take with him. If you've already talked to him about residual income and he's interested in learning, then take that approach. If you haven't, I would just say, would you help me?
We've talked off and on because we both do freelance stuff on the side too, just about things in general. And I've talked to him about this a little bit to some degree. So.
Okay. And just so you guys know, whoever's not been on those with us, I basically will take it. Yes, Brianna, it's a virtual business lunch. Thank you. I'll explain that for anyone who's new. So basically,
flying to Florida.
Yeah, you don't have to fly to Florida, Stacia. Although it probably wouldn't be a bad thing, would it?
For my job, it would be. They would be very upset.
Yes. Basically, what we do is we tell people I'll send out the link and it explains that it's a business lunch. Bring your lunch, join us over your lunch hour. However, it's only 30 minutes. And I'm going to run through basically about 8 to 10 slides and talking about how we're different as a business, but how to create residual income. So I start with the cash flow quadrant. We talk about some of our differences from how horizontal marketing works versus this vertical marketing concept. We go over a few slides to give them a concept of how we are just vitally different and just basically to whet the appetite. And then the whole idea is that we tell them, get with the person who invited you that is on here with you and have them get a follow-up so that we can get your questions answered and see if you can help us in any way. So again, I don't take the approach that they're on there for themselves. I take the approach that they're on there to help you. And when they follow up with you, it's then your job to book the follow-up. And that follow-up should, like JR just said, you don't want to do that follow-up alone. You want to do that follow-up by getting somebody else, whether it's Pip, myself, or your senior business partner, or somebody that you know in this group here that is willing and able to help you, get joined with them to be able to do that follow-up. Do not do follow-ups by yourself. We don't do follow-ups by ourselves. Make sure you use the team, because that then gives you the credibility to be able to say somebody who is, making it, or somebody who's been able to do this. So utilize your senior business partners and utilize whoever on here so that you have that team support. And again, your team leader, that person that gets on with you, and Laura, can you just talk about that a little bit, that what happens when I get on, that I'm not trying to sell them, or Pip's not trying to sell them on it?
Yeah, not at all. I was very hesitant in the beginning, not of Beth, but just in general. I thought, oh, this is, might be a little weird type of thing, but it just went so smoothly, and people are very receptive. Mm-hmm. We haven't come across anyone that said, "Ooh, I'm not talking to her," because I edified Beth and Pip. We've done it both ways, and people then just, emptied their bucket. And it's like, oh, well, they didn't do that for me, but I got them on the phone, and then all this came out, and afterwards Beth said, "Did you know those things?" I said, "No." So, and that's, it works really well. You just have to plan ahead. You have to know the schedule of whoever you're going to be doing a partner or team call with, and they be, quote, ready for either if it's with you or in the middle or towards the end of a conversation you're having with someone, and then just say, hey, let's see if they're available, after you've edified them. So you can do it several different ways, but it always goes smoothly.
And make sure that you send whoever's doing that call or is going to be on standby, make sure you send them a bio sheet so they know a little bit about that person, because that's so important for us to create quality questions.
Right.
So actually, Brianna, are you able to unmute yourself and join us for a second? Because I know Jake's on here as well. I'd love, Jake, if you're able to. I don't know if you can unmute yourself. But Brianna, can you just talk about how we just, connected to be able to call Jake together after you had already talked to him and made that connection?
Sure. I actually was working out at Jake's training facility, and really, I mean, I've been involved with Market America in the business for many years, and but I always got super excited, just like other people have related to this type of obstacle where you just move too fast with people. And I simply just kept, dropping pebbles along the yellow brick road, just like giving him little bits of information until, he kept on asking more, and just waited for the right opportunity to present the right information. And there is definitely an art to that, and it takes time to learn that and to not be almost overzealous with that. But it was, he was in the perfect setting, being in a training facility, being a personal trainer, having access to people where they talk about their challenges. And, obviously he started trying product himself. And once he tried product himself, I think that's what really finally sold it, because I've been talking about it, been talking about the delivery system with the isotonics, how that was different. But then once he actually tried the product himself, and knowing the type of person he was, and his own, healthy lifestyle, he felt the products immediately. He knew that there was something different about it. So that was pretty much sealing the deal right there. And then it was like, well, let me, dabble and talk to other clients and see if this is something they'd be willing to take, and that kind of thing. And it really just went pretty fast after that. I mean, I didn't have to convince him, and that was key.
That's huge.
That's huge.
And you know what she said there that's key? It's the example that we've used before. By dropping the pedals along the yellow brick road, she was fishing. She wasn't hunting. So
Correct.
It was the whole thing of casting and then just kind of providing the information and dropping a little bit more information instead of going out, like we say, and just bang and trying to kill him with the information.
And I will tell you that he was being recruited or trying to be recruited by I wouldn't even say they're one of our competitors, because they're not, but it's another nutritional, it's a multi-level company. And, he was asking me questions about certain ingredients in their products. I said, yeah, our products don't contain that. Or, yeah, well, there's that. We would just kind of have conversations, and I wouldn't push anything, but just letting him know, like, yes, our stuff is superior. So, take a look at the ingredients, or here, I'll provide the information or the nutritional sheet or whatever you need to know, so you understand that there is a difference here and that this is the highest quality. I said, there's a reason I've been taking these products since 1999. There's, a reason why I've sat there, and you can go and stop taking them and then try something else, and you always go back to them. And it's just tried and true and trusted, and the science is there, and I'm extremely science-based in anything I do and everything I take. So it was just a perfect situation with him, for sure.
Right, and you managed it well.
Brianna, Jake.
Thank you.
Jake wrote a comment that was very scientific as well. Jake, would you like to share your comment with everyone? Oops, can you unmute? Let me see if I can unmute you. I can unmute you. Oh, you're unmuted. Perfect. Would you like to share?
Perfect. Yeah, no, I've already been, I've been loving it myself. I've been sharing it with all my clients, and have had just great feedback about the supplements. I worked at GNC for a few years as well. I've been training for 12. I've never had supplements that I felt so quickly and so well. So yeah, no, definitely appreciate Brianna dropping the pebbles with me, because it's turned into something wonderful. And now I'm turning around and dropping the pebbles on people I know. So yeah, just wanted to follow up with that. That was great. So definitely, Brianna, thank you.
Awesome. And we love your scientific answer to what
well, sometimes the science just backs you up. So
I didn't see the comment. What was the comment?
I just said Isogenics sucks.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't gonna bash another company, but it's true. Like, they've got a lot of sugar, and their meal replacement formulas and things like that, and we don't. All of our stuff is low glycemic index, and just super powerful with the delivery system. And again, I just literally just fed him the information every time he asked for it, and didn't push for it. And as far as recruiting him, and I think that's what really set it apart as well, because he was being recruited by somebody else that was pushing him. He didn't get that feeling from me at all. It was just a friend talking to a friend and providing the right information. So
awesome.
Yeah, I never. One quick point I just wanted to make, because it's something I've employed in my own sales strategies lately, is just there's there's nothing hanging over my head. You know, I didn't feel like my relationship with Brianna hinged on me buying a supplement. You know, she was still going to, you know, treat me the same and use the same, you know, have the same interactions. And that's a big deal, I think, in sales is you've got to make it to where, you know, you're not pressuring people to immediately give you something, you know, and it's all about the relationship, you know, and you just develop the relationship and eventually good things will happen.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Awesome tips, you guys. And Brianna, I'm so proud of you. Brianna's been with us for a long time. She started when she was very young, so she's had a growing process, and it's so cool to watch you blooming into what you are becoming. Awesome.
Well deserved.
I thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So does anybody have, I know we're getting close to 10 here, so I don't want to keep everybody too late. I know we've already gone over this tonight, but we had a special night for you. And when I just want to say this, when JR says that he will come back, he will, as long as he sees that there's growth. So he has asked us if we want to do another 90-day fast track and get that going. And so obviously we would not start it immediately like today. So what we would like to hear from you is, do you want to be a part of, that means committing to this call every week. It means that actually filling out your basic 5 checklist and submitting that every week to show what you're doing, so that you would basically be making calls to people and forming relationships, doing trial marketing to get the products in the hands of other people. So doing the things that build the business. So if you'd like to be a part of that, it doesn't mean you can't come here and join us on these calls. It just means that you would be filling out that sheet, and part of it would be joining us on these calls. Anyone's welcome to come join us on these calls to learn. So just let us know. JR does, when he says he wants to hear all good and all bad, he wants the bad, the good, and the ugly. He does. He asks us every week what is happening, who's doing what, who's doing not anything. He wants to see that. And so we do report, because that's part of what helps us grow. And so he's watching. And so I will just tell you, if you'd like to be a part of that, we want to hear that. So when we say we want to know what happened in your appointments, it's not just because we're trying to barrage you with extra things to do. He's asking us for that report. So I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm very grateful that JR and Andrew took the time out for us.
And what an opportunity. I mean, to have him come in and offer that is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So any parting words?
I need sleep.
Thanks.
Thanks for reading it.
Thank you for being amazing as always.
Yeah.
You're welcome. We just do what we've been told to do and what we've been shown to do.
I know, and I know you don't like to hear that, but you guys are amazing.
And you guys match.
Yeah. It wasn't done on purpose, but
it wasn't.
It's the Florida thing we got going.
I needed a little color in my life today. I was getting a little bit too,
I bought flowers for that reason.
There you go.
Yeah. All right,
So,
everybody
stay well. Everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
You too. Good night, everyone.